Good afternoon. Um, I've been trying to figure out what it is that I want to share on social media. Um, I've been trying to figure out if it's something that I want to pursue, possibly um, work on giving lessons, help other people, possibly understand things that are a little complicated. Um, about music theory and about maybe the guitar and music. There's a lot of things online that I know I can see how they can be confusing and maybe quite possibly not useful for a lot of people. But there is a lot of information out there and a lot of things that can be used for production and audio engineering. Um, I'm not sure what I want to share, but I do think it's important for me to develop some sort of I don't know if schedule is the word I'm looking for, but um, um, I would really like to um, log in my progress as a student of this art and a student of music and of the craft that is guitar playing, songwriting, music production. Um, there's it's very um, it's very dense work. A lot of things to cover, and there's this is probably one of the things I would like to talk about is that um, I've been doing this for the past 27 years. Um, thankfully, thankfully so, gratefully so, that I can play music and something that I always wanted to do as a child. Um, but I'm not sure what it is that I want to share. There are a lot of topics that have come up in my mind recently about what it is that um, I'm supposed to be doing as a professional, as an educator, probably possibly as a musician, artist. Um, I think it's sometimes confusing for young students, as it was for me, to decide if this is something that I want to do with my life. Um, it's very difficult to know what it is that you want to do for the rest of your life. Um, I'm probably speaking to high school children, or probably not. Just um, speaking to anybody who's interested in this field. Uh, this usually happens if when you're a teenager, you want to emulate your heroes, and you want to go on stage and you want to play solos, and you want to write music, and you want to tour the world, and you want to see what it is to be what it, you know the 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 fun, awkward, quirky, weird world that this is. Um, Besides all that, there is a lot of information and stuff that I would probably use it for a guitar lesson, but decided to just post stuff up here, and maybe thoughts that have come to my mind recently, about technology, about the net, about where music is going, about all these other people who are on the internet and sharing all this stuff. And it's incredible what's happening, the way everything is being globalized, and um, things are moving at a different speed these days. Um, but for instance, I would really like to um, reinforce a lot of what people are saying on the internet. And these YouTube channels, these people are dedicated extensively to really clarifying what it is that we are doing as professionals, as audio engineers, as musicians. Sometimes it's not clear because sometimes somebody just plays guitar or somebody just knows how to play keyboards, and that's all they do, and that's all they want to do. They don't want to go into the theory of it. They don't want to delve into any of this, which is perfectly fine. But I think that as you start developing as a person, you start wanting to really understand everything that you've been creating, for the past few years or so, and the science behind it, maybe the not the actual math or physics of it, but the actual acknowledgement that I'm creating sound and producing it, creating songs, harmonies, melodies, compositions, ideas. The thing that sparks your interest, or whatever it may be. And trying to see that enhanced. Maybe I'm confusing myself as I explain that there's something that really draws you into this, whether it's the mechanics of it, the flash, the scary thing, the scariness about not knowing a scale, or maybe that's attractive, or the songwriting. It could be any of those things, or 1,000 other things, and we are all drawn to this by very different reasons, for very different reasons. I would like to share my experience, just bits of it. I'm not gonna get into it in depth, but music is very powerful, and it has changed my life, and it has helped me understand the world in a different way. I wouldn't dismiss it as a tool of an educational tool to help people to become better people or smarter. There's so many things. It's really hard to draw on one thing, but I know I'm rambling on here, but we all have a reason for liking this, and I just want to talk about maybe some concepts that have been explained on the net, and just stuff that I like about the guitar, about music. I recently posted a few videos. I think it's like 9 or 10 videos of me just ripping on a one key. It's something I'm trying to what is it called? Internalize is that one key. I want to be able to hear it, so I'm just playing the hell out of it. I'm playing it every day. I'm playing it everywhere. I'm playing it really awkwardly, very fast. I'm trying to figure out what it is that I'm probably missing from the key. I don't know, just working at the key, and working at knowing every intervallic relationship within the chords. Also looking at the chords, the harmonized scale. If you're new to this, you probably don't want to delve into all that stuff. You just want to learn your basic 1-3-5, your A, C, E, A, C, E, A, C, E. A C sharp E, A C sharp E, A C E. I'm trying to learn the major and minor. I know the minor because I've grown up with A minor, just me picking up the guitar and playing A minor as a, maybe like a lazy musician that always plays A and just decides to noodle on the guitar. But now I know that I think I've understood it, and I've used it a lot. So now I'm using the major, and it's something that I'm doing. It's something that I'm developing as an artist, and I don't know what to do with it. I love to rip on it. I know that's something I love to do, and it's something that's helping me understand melody, movement. It's making me look cool on the fretboard. I know where I have to go. I know the right notes, maybe some of the wrong ones. All of these things have just something that I chose to do. I'm in the studio and I'm playing it. I don't know why. There's something that's telling me that I have to. It's compelling me to learn A. Something is just, I want to learn A. I want to have it down. As I go, I'm learning that it's, A turns into E, and then B minor, and then all these things come to play as I play A for some reason. Everything happens under one thought. Why do I want to learn A? Do I want to look necessarily important, or I basically want to know A so I can understand the harmonic relationship, besides all the cool flash and cool licks I can play. I can actually see what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and without doing it, I could see what other possibilities I may encounter in melody and songwriting and composition. So this is the thing I'm working on today. Songwriting is so complicated, and just recently I've written like 10 new songs. I've recorded some stuff. I'm ready to mix the first 2 or 3 songs I've done. I'm gonna rewrite one of them. It sounds really good, but I'm gonna just snip that part of the outro and use it for the beginning of the record. And it's just all these things are happening at the same time. And what do I do first? What do I do next? Maybe this video is geared towards helping the ambivalence of what I'm supposed to do as a musician, as an artist. I'm sharing this because when I was learning guitar, 13, 14, 15 years old, 16 years old, there's not very much direction in what I really want to know, what I really want to do. I don't know what to do. My music teacher is guiding me through this whole process. But what am I going to do with this? How am I going to use this? It's like all this stuff is not useless. Yeah, it's just like, oh my God, I got to go through scales. I got to go through chords. I got to go through theory. Once you know theory, you can pretty much understand what's really going on in not music, in songwriting and composition, and a lot of music today is based on the 12 tone diatonic scale, and all of this stuff is related. So what would happen to me as a child, as I developed skill on the guitar, I didn't know what to do next. So you start a band, you do that, but then you go home and then you're just playing chords, and then I'm doing this so that maybe you can see, or maybe I can answer some questions about direction. What do I want to do? Do I really want to rip on A all my life? Do I want to write songs. All these things will happen, and eventually you will decide whether you want to do these things. But I'm just sharing what has helped me, and what I've come to this like sort of pantheon of I can relax and be who I am, right? I can be an artist. I can do whatever I want with the guitar. I can break it. I can tap on it. I can be obnoxious with it. But that's not where that's not really what we're gonna work on here. We're gonna do stuff that really interests us. What really interests us. What do I want to do as an artist? I don't want to bang on the guitar just to bang on it. I'm really interested in these chords. I'm really interested in these melodies. Pick out those melodies that you like and memorize them. Really develop a style. Not really a style. Just develop yourself as a musician by developing your ear. Listen to a lot of melodies. Oh, but I can't hear everything. My ear isn't that good. And yeah, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I wouldn't discriminate on these little melodies that you hear, these little guitar ditties, or things that you hear on records that are so simple, sound almost like Happy Birthday. Really simple things that are really grab you, and they instances of when you know that music is very, very beautiful and can change your life. And anyways, what is this I'm rambling on about? Sometimes as musicians or as students of this craft, we don't know what to do. Oh, I already played the solo. I already played these notes. I'm so bored with this. I'm so bored with that. You got to continue doing it. It changes. The A minor has changed for me a lot. I see it. As I play this note, I can see notes over here. Ideas that I could be playing over here. Harmony chords that could be going on top of here. As you're making records, as you're doing this, probably, not children, but people in general that are making records in their homes, are using computers. As you develop one skill, you start to see another one, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I hope I hope it helps to see these videos. Excuse me. My setup isn't very organized. I'm a very random, miscellaneous thinker. I don't like to write out. Well, for now, maybe in the future I will. I don't like to write out my videos and what am I going to talk about here. It's been 18 minutes. I was just going to talk for 3 minutes. There's a lot of educators are only supposed to teach you, for example, how to play a few the chords, basic chords, theory. But then what do you do? What do you do with this stuff? All this stuff. Gear, Tascam, recorders, Fender, Gibson, amplifiers, toys, guitar pedals, microphones. All this stuff is probably not entirely utilized, because we don't know what to do. This would happen to me a lot when I was a child. I would love to get gear. I would love to go to that Guitar Center and get a new guitar, some new strings, and this is completely normal. And of course, you're not going to deny your children of getting a new guitar pedal. But what I am trying to probably help and future parents who have children as musicians, there's just points of it's not a block. It's more of a what do I do? I know these chords. Do I write a song? Do I play a solo? Do I get a recorder? All these things have to be clear in your mind, and you have to have clarity. You can't have your mind all guttered up in prices and I don't know, credit cards and people and merchandise and consumption and things that are important to all of us as players, because we need technology and we need equipment. As creative people, we may find that there is a block. Just what do I do? It's just there's so many things. There's so many things I have, and I don't know how to use. I don't know how to utilize. Am I using it correctly? Am I using it wrong? I'm not going to be here to tell you to just use it. Use it and do it and be happy. No, that's not. It's more about as we go. We kind of know what's the next step, right? We have to develop that. Things that we don't have as musicians is develop that ear, that necessity. It's kind of my friend is talking nonsense, but some of what he's saying is true. I'm kind of just noodling on the guitar, not really have any direction. Should I be a songwriter? Should I delve into writing songs? What's good? What should I listen to? All these things will be answered as you go on. So don't panic. Everything is going to be all right. But yeah, it's just something that used to happen to me when I was a student of the instrument and music and audio engineering. I would grab this 4-track Tascam and try to make something. Just, it doesn't have to be a song. It doesn't have to be. It's like, what do I do? What should I play? Should I blues? But that's probably homework, right? Everybody has homework. Everybody has to play blues, but what do you want to do? What is it that you want to do, right? I'm interested in Metallica riffs, or well, that's probably something that you should develop, right? Simultaneously, and you probably will, by inertia. So good luck, and there is something else that I would love to talk about is popularity and things that are at our disposal. We're not always sure, especially when we're young, if we're really drawn to something. I used to love this when I was a child, but now I really don't. I don't know why I liked it. I don't know. Certain things that have been chosen for us, not by necessity, but because of circumstances that my cousin used to listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but now I love Bob Dylan, or I can't stand to listen to this, or I can't stand to listen to that, or all of these things are developed as we grow as individuals, and there are things that are for some reason I found this record. For some reason it just delved into my mind. But one of the things that this is the what I want to talk about is just my complete respect and utter gratefulness for the Beatles. If you're gonna study the guitar, and if you're gonna be into music, you have to develop taste for certain things, right? Miles Davis, Bitches Brew, is probably not your easy listening. It's not your 145. It's very complex music, and you have to really sit down and you have to really take your time and appreciate this music. something that you should probably look into is music appreciation. If it's something that you really, if you love music and you love, you're into the whole music production, and I want to make tracks and I want to put my stuff up on video games and movies and all this stuff. You have to develop an appreciation for music that you don't really think is cool. Why this? Because we have to train our ears to. It's almost like a visual. It's like visual artist. Like a visual artist would. They tell you this is a really great painting, but you're like, I don't like this painting. I think it's terrible. I think the colors are ugly. It really doesn't transcend with me, or it really bothers me, right? I don't think this is art. I don't think this is beautiful. I don't think this is anything that is worth anything, or of any of my or of my interest. This will happen, and it happens a lot, but there are certain things that you have to probably step back, and if it's been recommended to you, right? It's been recommended, yeah, you should probably listen to this. And you read it on the internet, you read it in books, interviews from all these great musicians. You won't be harming your ears if you're listening to something that you don't like. I really don't like this. But my music teacher told me that I should probably listen to the Beatles, right? It wasn't hard for me. As soon as I got the White Album, I knew why the Beatles are the Beatles. If you have any kind of ear for music, or for any sensitivity for the arts, I know it may sound elitist, and it sounds really pompous and pretentious to say that the Beatles were incredible and amazing in so many ways, and innovative in composition. George Martin as their leader, all this, studio trickery, and the Ringo Starr being the best drummer in the whole world, Lennon and McCartney being the greatest songwriters, not to mention Frank Sinatra's favorite song of all time being Something by George Harrison. All this stuff is trivial, and is it true really? Is it the way things have to be? Is God up above? All these things that may not make sense. I have to tone down. I don't want to edit the video. Do these things exist, right? Why do I have to listen to the Beatles? Why do I have to play blues? I just want to rap. I just want to make loops or whatever, etc. I was listening to the Beastie Boys the other day. Yesterday, I was listening to the Beastie Boys yesterday, and started to listen to what is really magical about those records. I'm not really a hip hop fan. Well, that's not true. I really do like hip hop. There's a part of me that really likes it because of the, nostalgic part of growing up, and of where I grew up. And listening to the Beastie Boys, I wasn't really, learning the guitar. I wasn't really a fan of the Beastie Boys. I really didn't see it. I didn't see it as a magical thing or something that I should really appreciate. I started listening to that record, to one of their records. Sorry, listening to the music video. I was watching music videos, and really appreciating the analog quality of all these recordings, whether it's one chord or one beat or one sound, or just weird nonsense. I can see why that music is important, and I can feel why it's important, and I can appreciate everything about it. Its cultural content, its meaning, its lyrics, its poetry, its R&B, its production. the street part of it, the wise, the wiseness of it or whatever. I'm sure that has its own thing, but when somebody tells you, please, if you're gonna learn guitar, if you're gonna learn composition, learn some Beatles songs or get some Beatles records. These are people who you want to listen to, and I know it sounds really maybe fascist, to say this. The Beatles are the ultimate thing in songwriting, and everybody, and I want to say, that's the way it is. They are the kings of popular music, and everything that came after them, anything that was created after them is because of them. If you're not really a John Lennon fan or a Paul McCartney fan, well, I don't off the bat, you think, all we need is love and all this stuff that on the surface that that may be cheeky, and the Beatles are great because they're English, and the Beatles are famous and they were popular because they were because we were manipulated by Germany and radio stations and everything, and that's all we had. And there's so many theories about why the Beatles were the Beatles. I've heard all these things about German DJs. Sort of like a fascist movement. Yeah, that's all they played, and they were obsessed with the Beatles. But the fact, there's fact and fact and all these legends and all this thing. But fact about all this stuff is that those four guys as musicians were incredible. If you read anything about them, as they were touring in Europe in their early years, these kids were unique. They were unique and of their own. I don't know if I could say of their own kind. They were special. Yeah, they could do these incredible things with music that nobody else was doing, and nobody else could probably play. Anyways, I'm rambling on, and some of it is passionate. Some of it is passionate about. I always talk passionately about about the Beatles being the greatest band of all time. But it happens with other bands. Yeah, but I get. You get very emotional when you talk about the Beatles for some reason, because the Beatles are, immaculate. You can't. I can't be disappointed by a Beatles record for so many reasons. There are so many reasons that they're incredible. Their melodies are so beautiful, and counterpoint within the compositions, the sections, the drumming. The quality of those drums are. Yeah, you get a little choked up about it, talking about. I do, at least, because then you start getting into the trivial parts about what happened after that, and John Lennon, and what happened to music, and then Kurt Cobain, and then all this stuff is connected, and it's really sad and depressing when I when I see children or people people telling me the Beatles are overrated. The Beatles are, and these are people who probably don't rely on the Beatles, or because the Beatles are whatever. It's just another record on the wall, or another record on the LP player. But it is true that for us musicians, especially rock musicians or popular musicians, guitar players, bass players, drummers, the Beatles are something you have to understand and really know, and not in depth, but you have to know what's going on somehow. Who's singing, what's singing, left, right, reverb, the sound of compression. All this stuff was practically invented by them. Not practically, but I don't want to get into that because I don't have any facts right now with me. So But if anytime you hear something like I don't know what is this called, the reverse drums, reverse audio and records and all that, they practically invented all that stuff. I don't know if they probably did invent it. Amongst other engineers, Jeff Emick and George Martin, being the leaders of whatever project they were working on, um, they were the first musicians to actually delve into um, physically creating um, what wasn't available. If something had to be done, they found a way to do it. Um, this is a different time, and it's like a different magic altogether. Anyways, something I don't quite fully understand. I don't understand the mysticism about what makes the Beatles so great. But there's a lot of great things about the Beatles, and if you're not paying attention, I worry that a lot of these kids are. I worry that kids are missing out on because of gender, because of maybe race. There's a lot of there's a huge thing about I don't listen to that kind of music because of because of my ethnicity or my beliefs, and I completely respect that, and I think that's completely valid. But I think it's important, at the same time, I think it's very important to, people that are completely ignorant or have no idea about what's going on in music. It could include me. Simultaneously dismissing the Beatles as they were popular because they were pretty, or they were popular because they sounded like all this stuff is I think it's it's been clarified that they weren't popular because of any kind of I don't know, government experiment or political agenda. Even though it might have relevance, the Beatles are the Beatles, and they will always be the Beatles. If I'm scared. It's very scary to, because I recently saw that movie about the Beatles. What's it called? Yesterday. Yeah, it's called Yesterday. Is it one day that this person wakes up and the Beatles never existed, and what would have happened if the Beatles never? It's really sad, and it's very true. Why is this? Why have I been rambling about this? Because I'm gonna make these videos about. I'm probably talking about things that have already been settled on between musicians, between culture, people who are deep down diving into their culture, trying to improve it. The Beatles are the Beatles, and very importantly, very much a part of this world. Very much a part of guitar playing, songwriting, composition, music. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I love making music and making art and painting and drawing and all this stuff. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who don't appreciate any of this. Not specifically my work, but works in general. I may be a new a newbie in the thinking globally. But I think it's very tragic and very dangerous that we let things like this, letting maybe children believe that they can't listen to the Beatles because they're not white, or because they were born in a certain, they were born poor, or they're or that they're racist and they can't listen to the Beatles. You can't listen to the Beatles. Why can't you listen to? Oh, my parents don't want me to listen to the Beatles. Well, for what reason? It exists, right? It exists, and it's scary. It's scary that it's scary that people are different than me. No, that's not it. It's scary that you don't let other people enjoy what other people like to enjoy. Me in terms of, in context of beauty and art and records and composition and beauty. I'm not talking about any other stuff. In that context, I think it's very scary. I love that movie, by the way. That movie Yesterday, and the Beatles. Very passionate about the Beatles. Anyway, why am I so conceivingly determined to convince my viewers that, or any viewer for that matter, you don't have to listen to the Beatles, but the Beatles are important, and they will always be important in this world of music, and I truly appreciate what they did for humanity, and all this other sad thing. John Lennon's death and all that stuff is really tragic, and you wonder why these things happen. The same with Kurt Cobain and maybe Jimi Hendrix and all these great minds. But yeah, if you're a student and if you love music and you're not gonna go wrong with the Beatles. You will undoubtedly see. If you buy sheet music or get any of their records, you will. If you just let it be, you will understand your body physically, harmoniously will be enveloped in what made them special. Especially if you're a musician, if you love music and you love sound and you love production and all this stuff, you will automatically know what makes these records great. Well, I guess that's it. Yeah, I've been working on a new record. I wrote 10 new songs. I've been working on a new record. I have a lot of parts, a lot of skits. I have I posted something recently on Instagram about using chorus on the auxiliary effect, on the main auxiliary, and it's really helped tighten up the mix. I've never done it. I just randomly picked I was mixing, and I randomly, literally went just randomly got a pedal, and it's like, just get this one. I want to see what happens, and it adds depth to the mix. Anyways, a lot of this stuff is advanced. A lot of this stuff is maybe basic. A lot of your kids, if they're interested in music, I wouldn't dismiss the fact that they want to choose an instrument and probably play an instrument. I think it's a magical thing that children are drawn to art, and the thing that creates life. Yeah. But yeah, this isn't just for one person or for a lot of people. Just not a very commercial video, but yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna be posting a lot of these up. I have a new songwriting method. It's not really a method; it's more of a revelation in relation to what we're talking about. Know your keys. You don't have to know all the keys. I don't know all the keys. I may know them in theory, on paper, but if I was going to play every single key, I would make a lot of mistakes. Just pick a key, pick a door, and and stay in there for as long as you can, learning, which I'm doing. I'm learning A, up and down the neck. It's taking a long time, but it's more of me. I'm the one who chooses. Usually when you're studying, you have a teacher and they tell you, okay, that's enough of that key and let's move on to a different key. That's something I've learned, that as I'm learning, I also have to have my own agenda, right? My teacher is musically, my teacher's giving me all this knowledge, but at the same time, I'm interested in this. Don't forget to ask your teacher questions. Don't forget to follow your what is that called? Your direction, right? If you're interested in the blues, hit the blues. Don't. If you're interested in the blues and Beatles and jazz and rock and metal, do that. Yeah. I 5 different genres. Do it. Yeah. Learn it. Learn all those licks. Something that I love. I can't probably. I couldn't probably tell you there. I'm strictly a songwriter. That's all I'm gonna do is just play songs and just sing about specific things. No, the universe is abundant in subjects and themes, and yeah, go for it. Learn as much as you can. Keep on developing what it is that you like, right? I love metal. I heard the new Metallica record. It's fucking, sorry if I can't say that word. I probably should. Yeah, it's another thing that I'm, you start to pick and choose what we like and what we don't. But that Metallica record is incredible. I like that. I think it's Room of Mirrors. I think that's the name of the song. I really love those melodies, and it sounds like old Metallica. And simultaneously, I had to listen to Ride the Lightning again. So I started listening to Ride the Lightning and just got really pumped about, started watching Yngwie Malmsteen solo. I think he's on tour. He's been on tour for the past year or so. He just put stuff on Facebook, and I just wanted to rip on A. There's something about the unit, the effect that has, the electric guitar, the bend of notes. That's what I was being drawn to. So that's what I'm saying. When I was a kid, I had a lot of things. I had so many magazines about guitars and catalogs, Musician's Friend, Guitar Center. I got all these. It's incredible. It's an incredible amount of information, and I don't know what to do. Do all of it. Play jazz. Learn some licks off of Miles Davis' Bitches Brew. It's probably not the same instrument, but little things. Pick out things that you like. I love this. I love I don't know, Dr. Dre. I really like what he's doing. What is that? Things that are probably of your interest. Work on those things, and simultaneously study the things that have been brought to you by other students or by other teachers. In this case, we were talking about the Beatles. Yeah, I don't like the Beatles. I think it's really boring and kind of pompous and arrogant, and to believe that the Beatles are the greatest, songwriters of all time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All that stuff. It's not relevant, right? But it was recommended as an educational outlet, or as an educational tool to develop as a writer and as a musician. You won't hurt yourself by listening to the Beatles, or you won't hurt yourself by knowing more theory, or you won't hurt your creativity. What you do have to know is that you have control over that, right? You don't have control over. My parents don't want me to play. My parents don't want me to play Beastie Boys records. They would really love for me to play the Beatles. That's a different situation, right? But all these things are happening, and you start to choose the things that you like. You start to develop your character as a musician, and do the things that you like, right? There are things that are definite that you have to learn. You got to put your fingers here, you got to strum a certain way. Really boring. Yeah, this isn't what I wanted to learn. Yeah. This isn't. But it should be the things that you're interested in, right? This thing should completely envelop your interest. I'm sorry, the dog's crying. That's what he does. He wants me to give him lunch. If this was of your interest, right? If this thing was of your interest, then all of this stuff, the boring stuff, the good stuff, the cheeky stuff, it should be all equally on the same plane, right? You should give it, you should give the chords love. You should give the lead love. You should important. This is an important. Before I cut the video, I think I've been rambling on for a long time. Develop a taste for melodies. That's what I said that before. But sing. I know I'm not saying to become the greatest singer in the world, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to sing melodies, right? Okay, so that, playing it. Follow melodies, as feminine as it may sound to some boy guitar players, that they don't want to falsetto. You probably should, because it's very important to feel the texture and the get your feet wet. I'm not saying to become the best singer or to turn into John Lennon, but to actually know what's going on is to actually, it's almost like ingesting the melody, right? The G. I couldn't find it, so I held it. Meaning that I can play this same lick down here. So and that's a whole different ballpark of things that happen there. But yeah, start to speak to your ideas, right? Your universe of inspiration. Don't expect your music teacher to solve that for you, because time passes. And something that happened to me is that time developed. I was 15, 16 years old, very passionate about having a band, making a record, and simultaneously having fun, being a child, being a kid, going to the beach, falling on my knees, scraping my arms, having fun in the world, and playing music, right? And just time passes, and all of a sudden, that didn't happen. Some of it did happen. A lot of that happened. But now what do? I relied on my music teacher and the band and all this stuff, my surroundings to inspire me, to tell me what the next move was. But as I did give up the electric guitar for some time, not consciously. Like, I'm not gonna play electric guitar. I just stashed it away for a long time and just played acoustic guitar, because I moved. I moved very far from where I was living, and there was a lot of less tolerance for what I was doing, about from my family and my part. I want to keep playing guitar and all this. We gotta start doing something else. We gotta start changing it up a little bit, because you're just playing guitar, and um, that in that era, I was just playing acoustic guitar, and I think I made a record. It's on my channel. It's the Rhythmus Jive. Is when I really think I started writing songs. Um, Not just melodies, not just sections, not just riffs. I started writing songs completely on my own. I started really ingesting melody. I started really feeling the texture in as I sang, and the quality of the tone and all this. My ears really developed in the has my ears have developed in the past 15 years. Um, um, that's part of what I wanted to share today. If you're a young musician, even if you're an old one, um, sometimes you just got to start, uh, throwing paint on the canvas and making a mess, and um, ripping on etc. Um, not because of a writer's block, just because something the universe wanted was just pulling me into making a few videos of me ripping on A. Why? Now I can see why. There's a lot of things that I've based on theory I've been able to answer based on those videos. Anyways, yeah, if you're a young student or an experienced one, and for some reason you don't know what to do next, even if it's just a ridiculous thing, get a new record, get into a different band, get a guitar pedal, all this stuff. No, wait, that's what confuses, right? If we get more gear, that's what's going to confuse me. No, that's not necessarily it. Because I got new gear and I don't know what to do. Should I use it? Should I not? But it's I make a mess and all this stuff. Yeah, no, it's part of it. Sometimes I have this really beautiful Tascam 32 channel M600 analog transformerless console. It's a beautiful thing to have. I love it, like my German Shepherd. What's wrong, Nickel? But I haven't used it. I'm still not fixing it. I have to do some maintenance on it, but I haven't done it because I haven't sat down to actually get dirty, right? There are so many reasons. I'm painting, I'm drawing, I'm also I'm trying to have a video for this next record. All these things are happening, and what do I do next? And it's just like, it's not a block. It's just like, what do I do? There's so many things I have to do. That I don't know what the next step is. I don't either. But I do know that this has helped me recently. All these thoughts and concepts that I've shared with you. Who am I as a player? Who am I as a guitar player? Who am I as an artist, right? But we're not artists. We should be focusing on music, right? Exactly. Focus on music. What kind of music? Oh, blues, just blues. That's it. He knows. He wants to play blues, and that's all he's going to play. And that's all he's going to play. And that's up to him and or her. Yeah, I want to be a blues singer, and I want to be a Beatles cover band, one of those fanatic cover bands that actually dresses up and does everything exactly as they did. That's another thing you can do. But it's just like a desperate, especially these kids. I'm saying it because when I was a kid, I was spoiled as well, and sometimes I just had a lot of toys, and I don't know what to do, and I go to somebody else's house, my friend's house, and I have all these toys in the house, but why am I here? And I should, I don't know. I get frustrated, and so what do? You just start pulling out all your toys, and you start looking at every single one of them, and really appreciating everything. And this happens a lot in the studio. I have so much gear here. I have this beautiful console. I have a console here. I have another console somewhere else, which I'm fixing. I haven't seen that in like 2 or 3 years, but that's gonna eventually be fixed. I'm gonna fix it and I'm gonna put it somewhere in here. I got tape machines, analog tape machines. I got a lot of stuff I want to use, right? Why don't you use this all these magnificent tools? Make something and make something and make something. And as I've been making stuff. I've been just with the guitar. I've written some songs. I have recorded a lot of stuff. I'm trying to tighten some mixes up and figure out what my next move is. But yeah, no, it's more of me sharing what I do here in my studio. I'm not a full-time musician. I was at some point when I was back in college or university. Just completely delved into in classical guitar, and that's all I did was play guitar. Now I have a little more free time. I've graduated from fine art, and I'm drawing a lot. That's something I want to keep separate from these videos. Maybe the visual part of it, even though it is very important. Just for now, focus on the music and the concepts about what I've been sharing. It says randomly composed, but I've thought about sharing this for a while. I will develop these ideas, and there's an introduction. It's in Spanish though. There's an introduction to audio engineering if you're interested in that, but it's in Spanish. I will things I'll probably share in English on this channel in English. So let me see. Yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for listening. I will be sharing hopefully more content. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening.